All right, welcome everybody. We have a training today on the new buyer broker agreement and the disclosures that are attached with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get sharing on my screen, and away we go. Okay, so we want to talk about the transparency in real estate that came to be a big theme in 2025 and the foundation for a new era for 2026. So, following the 2024 NAR lawsuit settlement, the real estate industry has entered into a transformative period focused on building trust and clarity with clients. And this presentation will guide you through the essential transparency requirements and disclosure that now define how we conduct business and demonstrate our value to home buyers and sellers. All right, cool. So the foundation of consumer understanding. So in 2025, we had a pivotal shift in real estate in how we operate. We're moving beyond traditional practices to establish a framework where consumers truly understand how our business works. This isn't just about compliance, it's about proving our worth and building lasting relationships with valued clients. The new transparency standards require us to clearly outline business relationships, referral agreements, and professional credentials. By embracing these changes, we position ourselves as trusted advisors who put their clients' interests first. The buyer broker agreement did huge things for our business last year. It allowed us to lead with value, to be more transparent and show them what we do for people and how we earn our professional fees. That was big because that allows us to command what we deserve in professional fees. We want to continue that this year, building on the foundation of knowing what we're worth and adding new layers of transparency. We'll talk about the RAD, which is a new car form. We'll talk about the referral fee disclosure. That's from EXP, which is just a much more simplified version of that RAD form. And then we also want to talk about the consumer choice disclosure that EXP brought out. And a lot of this is in response because we are Zillow Flex teams. We want to be able to convey our value, convey who we're paying a referral to, and then also let our clients know that their choice is paramount and we want them to have the best experience possible while working with us. Understanding the buyer broker agreement. The Buyer Representation and Broker Compensation Agreement, the BRBC, is now the cornerstone document for establishing transparent client relationships. This agreement has been enhanced with new disclosure requirements that provide unprecedented clarity about how agents operate and are compensated. So business relationships, clear documentation of any referral sources or business partnerships that led to client engagement. If Susie, agent over at EXP Arkansas, sent me a client, I want to disclose to that client that I'm paying Susie's a referral fee. She's getting taken care of for building that relationship. So same thing with Zillow. We want to disclose that we're giving a referral to Zillow and we want to write up to 40% on there. And then we want to adjust the document while we're in escrow to match that exact fee because it might be lower than 40%. It may remain at 40% and no adjustment is necessary. We just want to disclose that. People need to understand how our fee is being paid because I've heard a lot of questions this year that were like, how do I pay this referral fee when I'm already paying a Zillow fee? Meaning my buyer's mom's a realtor and she wants to give her a referral. Now, if we're transparent on the front end when we're getting the BRBC signed saying we're giving 40% of our commission to Zillow, that alleviates the conversation later for someone to try to build another fee in and take from us when we're the ones performing all the contractual duties. So use it to your advantage to set precedent that I'm already paying a referral. I can't add another referral. This is all going to be helpful moving forward. Professional status. The disclosure on the NAR membership, the realtor designation, and association affiliations. So professional status is something that now is choice. A new NAR lawsuit came out saying that you don't have to be a member of NAR to conduct business operations in the real estate space any longer. However, on the RAD, they do have that option for you to say, I am a trademark realtor. I am part of National Association of Realtors, and this is my MLS board. And that gives you credential, it gives you validity, another thing to build on. And I would suggest having that membership as I do. And then the compensation structure, we want a transparent outline of how professional fees are paid and determined. So there's a section in the RAD that talks about where you're receiving your fee from. So are we going to be receiving it from the seller and buyer, the seller only, the buyer only, a family member? There's different options. Maybe our broker's compensating us. These are all things that we need to outline, but for most of our purposes, we'll be putting the seller is going to be compensating us, and we'll review that part of the document on this presentation. The realtor designation, we just touched on this. So a significant change in 2026 is that real estate professionals are no longer required to be members of the National Association of Realtors to operate their business. This creates an important opportunity to differentiate yourself. This is outlined on section E4 of the BRBC as a checkbox. Check this box to access the realtor's acknowledgement and disclosure. This also has the below referral disclosure. If you maintain your realtor designation, you're demonstrating a commitment to the highest ethical standards, ongoing professional development. NAR members pledge to uphold code of ethics and have access to exclusive tools, education, and market data. Share this value with your clients. Explain that your realtor status means you're held to higher standards of practice and consumer protection than non-member agents. So if we're looking here on this realtor acknowledgement disclosure, we'll want to check on B. We will not want to check I'm not a realtor. We'll want to check I am a realtor and a member of the California Association of Realtors and the blank MLS board. If it's CDAR, if it's SDAR, or whatever it is that you're a member of, we want to outline that here. And this is the top of the RAD. So you can see that it came out just last month. So here's our training on it. Okay, referral fee transparency. Moving down on the RAD to section 3. Other disclosures. This is for compensation. And this is where we want to outline how we're getting paid and what the referrals look like. Now, on the top one, compensation can come from multiple sources, from principal on agent side of transaction. So if you're not already disclosed in agreements, on signed agreements or otherwise, that you're being compensated for your services, like, for example, both buyer and seller, you want to provide this disclosure to your client in the transaction who can indicate their consent by signing below. The sources of payments are from, maybe the buyer and seller are both contributing. Maybe it's just the seller. Maybe it's for a lease, it's going to be the housing provider and the tenant. Maybe it's just the housing provider, or maybe the broker in some instance. I can't imagine a source where that's coming from, but you put the broker in there. There's also a list for other. Maybe it's the seller's parents who are paying you that aren't on the transaction. There's different scenarios that will pop up, and these may become usable checkboxes. So I just want you to know about that on this disclosure. So B, present or potential ownership interest in property obtained by signatures from all principals in the transaction. This is important because when we're dealing with family members, we're always made to disclose that we're dealing with a family member. Or if we're selling a property of our own, we need to disclose that. This is another layer of transparency and protection for you here. So I am disclosing that I am selling or leasing a property or contemplating a purchase of a lease or property on behalf of myself, a member of my immediate family, the brokerage firm identified below, or any broker of agent thereof. If you're representing an agent from a different state who's not brokered here, an entity in which I or my immediate family member have a legal firm identified below, or any broker agent there, or excuse me, if you have a family member with interest. Sorry, I read the 2 lines. And then if there's any other person related by blood or marriage, or any other person that you have a special relationship with. So this is a very broad stroke on, I know this person and I'm going to disclose that we have relationship. And I think that's a great thing to have because saying that I'm a licensed agent representing myself on the on the purchase agreement. If that doesn't land there, this is a reminder. We got to get that out there. We need to disclose if we're representing ourselves or our family. And then this one is the one I want to highlight, this 3C, referral or other fee received from or paid to another broker. This is where we want to talk about who we're paying out, especially on the front end when we're getting our BRBC signed. So this is empowerment. This is where we get to talk about we're already paying a referral. I can't add in your mom, or I can't add in your brother, sister's uncle. This is what I'm receiving here, and we're giving away up to 40% of it. So if not previously disclosed or agreed to by my client, I'm disclosing to my client that my broker is receiving or paying at the closing of a covered transaction a referral fee, receiving a commission rebate or profit on expenditures, if not in violation of RESPA, receiving a financial benefit for recommending real estate products or services. So receiving compensation, my broker is being paid by, I can't think of anything here, but we want to talk, maybe it's a lender or something like that. So we'll want to disclose any compensation that's being received by the broker. Paying compensation, my broker is paying compensation to, say, Zillow, or that broker in Arkansas, or anytime there's a referral fee where it's changing hands, we want to list the source. But right now, Zillow will be our main point of what we want to focus on, and then compensation amount, and we want to put 40% right here of gross compensation earned by the broker representing the client during the transaction. And when we're talking to our buyer, we want to say up to 40%. So I just went line by line on here. Let me just recap real quick. So one of the most important aspects of the new transparency requirements is the disclosure of referral fees. When you receive business through another agent, brokerage, or third-party service, your clients now have the right to know about any fees being paid for that referral. We want people to know that the people that are connecting us are being taken care of. I think it's a positive thing. So one, we want to identify the referral source, okay? Two, we want to disclose the fee amount. We've already talked about that. We want to explain the impact. No other referrals can be added. So that's us protecting our fee, what we've earned. And then we want to present this with the BRBC. So once we have the BRBC signed, we want to talk about this form. Let them know we're a licensed realtor. Let them know that we're working with Zillow, and they reserve a referral fee for us to be able to meet. And I'm so glad that they introduced us. It's a real positive point. I'm happy to pay Zillow that 40% because I'm so glad to be in contact with you, and I'm really excited to build a relationship. And so not only you, but you, all your friends, your family, I can't wait to be your family realtor. And I think that's an important precedent to lean into. We're not trying to tap dance around this. We want to lean into it and say, I'm thankful that I just got introduced to you. Whether we're paying another broker or we're paying Zillow, whoever it may be, we are excited to be in with this client right now. All right, let's move on. How professional fees are paid. So the BRBC and the RAD talk about that. So transparency extends beyond referral fees to encompass the entire compensation structure. Clients deserve to understand exactly how your professional fee is determined, collected, and distributed throughout the transaction. So the fee structure on the BRBC, clearly outline your professional fee as 3% market standard, explaining how this compensates you for your expertise, time, and services throughout the transaction process. This is a great place to bring out our Stout team buyer packet. Have that with you on every showing. Put it on your iPad, put it on phone, put it on your laptop. Have it there so you can walk them through exactly what you do for them. And it also talks about what we've done as a whole. Leaning into the Stout team selling 160 million and what we're tracking for, These are big stepping stones, and they are trust earning points that we want to focus on. So be prepared for these showings. We want to have the BRBC be a point of building in to what we can give them, not I hope they sign it. Go in with confidence, be prepared. We also want to talk about payment source clarity, and the RAD does that on the referral fee, and the referral fee disclosure on EXP does that also. We want to explain whether the fee comes from the seller's proceeds, the buyer's funds, or a combination of both, helping the clients understand the financial flow of the transaction. Okay, we talked about that last slide, but that's just a good summary of what we want to do. EXP is leading the way in the transparency movement. EXP has positioned itself as a leading innovator in helping agents navigate transparency and disclosure requirements. Remarkably, EXP developed and released comprehensive disclosure forms before NAR or the California Association of Realtors made official decisions to move forward with these requirements. This proactive approach demonstrates EXP's commitment to consumer protection and agent support. By anticipating industry needs and providing solutions ahead of mandates, EXP has equipped its agents with tools necessary to lead the market in transparency. 1000% true. That's exactly why we're hanging here. That's exactly why we're going to continue to win and earn business, because we're going to do things the right way, and our leadership is doing that. We are industry leaders there. Here's the EXP forms that if those get too complicated while signing the BRBC, there's also a BRBC for EXP. You can find them all in the agent toolkit. I'll attach that below here on Circle, so you can have that access these two documents in there, and also the BRBC in a much simpler form. Now, some brokerages may require for you to have the car one filled out. You can do that retroactive while you're in with your client, but they should accept these forms regardless. So let's get through this. Our EXP forms are simple, clean, and concise disclosures. As EXP agents, you have access to disclosure forms that set the industry standard for clarity and ease of use. These documents are specifically designed to promote consumer choice while remaining straightforward for clients to understand. They're in user-friendly format, they have clear explanations, and a consumer choice focus. So when we're talking about consumer choice, this is where we want to give options for every vendor that we work with. This is a great trust builder up front to have this when you're doing the BRBC. Like, oh, I'm so glad we get to work together, and you've laid out that you're paying a referral or you're not. And then you get to come to consumer choice. Hey, and now next steps are, let's get you pre-approved. Here's 3 lenders that I have on my consumer choice. Here's 3 home inspectors that we can employ once we have an accepted offer. 3 termite companies, 3 plumbers. This is a vendor list that we get to have in our arsenal at every showing. It's a huge power play. When you are getting that BRBC signed, you want to talk about how I want to promise you that I'm going to get you the best price. I'm going to do it with the best terms, and I'm going to save you money on your closing costs also. And when you say that, you can back that up. Then when you're showing them consumer choice, all 3 of these lenders are going to pay for your appraisal. They can close like cash. They can close very quickly in under 20 days in most cases, or in all cases. These are trust building things, not something that you hope they sign. If you use them in a positive way and empower yourself to be the expert, the go-to agent, that's when these transparency documents become powerful to move your client down the funnel. The referral fee disclosure, this is much more straightforward than the RAD document. Your broker, eXp Realty, is obligated to pay a referral fee to Zillow or, eXp Arkansas or Sotheby's, whoever it is, for having referred you to eXp. The referral fee shall be either, we're going to put in 40%, up to 40% of the compensation earned, or if it's a flat fee, you can put that in there. In each case, to be paid from the compensation earned and received by eXp for services provided in your transaction. By signing below, you acknowledge eXp. So it doesn't get much simpler than that. That's the extent of the document. So use whichever one you'd like. If you're comfortable with the car forms, great. If you like these simple EXP forms, they're in the toolkit that are below. please employ them in your scripts immediately. Empower yourself to be not only transparent, but to use it to be able to build relationship and push your clients down the funnel. Stout team requirements. Let's get into it. Important compliance note. As member of the Stout team, providing these transparency documents is mandatory when presenting buyer representation and broker compensation agreements. This is not optional. It's a requirement for your team affiliation. This is the crux of us putting people down the funnel, being transparent. Make it your script today. The Stout team has adopted EXP's transparency forms and the standard forms for all team members. This decision reflects our commitment to operating with the highest level of integrity and consumer protection in every transaction. So, timing requirements. Disclosure documents must be presented simultaneously with the BRBC agreement, never after the fact. This ensures clients have complete information before making representation decisions. Awesome. We're going to give them all this great information so it's an easy decision for them. Documentation standards. Keep signed copies of all disclosures and forms in your transaction files. We all know this. We're going to employ Wendy, Jackie, Christina. They're going to handle all that for us. And then client education. Don't just hand over your forms. Take time to explain. Ensure genuine understanding. We all know to do that. Continue to do that. If you need help understanding, tune into these trainings. Call me. Call Marissa. Call Jeannie. Know what you are doing. Develop the SOP that we're training you to do and get consistent. When you're consistent, it works and your operations become tighter. Moving forward together, we'll review the forms constantly. We want to practice your presentation and we want to embrace the change. So let's do that together. This year, 2026, we are going to be training on top of funnel, moving to bottom of funnel, how we do that in our interactions with our clients, how to be the sophisticated professional agent that people want to list and buy with. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Again, see the links below here on Circle so you can get into that buyer toolkit. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I am signing off. All right, thanks.